Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me I have several ladies from the This Is It, how do you say it, club? I mean, it's kind of a strange way. It's the IT club that we have here in Warren County, and I think the name of the club is This Is It, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So I have Melissa Chapman. She's involved in the organization. She's been around since the beginning. We'll call you one of the founders. How's that sound?
Thank you. That's
like
an
that?
honor to be one of the founders, yes.
And then we have Hosanna Keogh. She is a volunteer and a parent involved. That's going to be good because we're going to talk about some of the parent aspects of how good this club really is. All right? So
sounds good.
Thing starts again in January. Melissa, why don't you tell us what's it all about?
Yes, this will be our third year of presenting the materials to a class of local, generally high school students in Warren County. I think that we've done something different for this year in that we've taken all the lessons learned from the prior two classes and taken a lot of input from students who will join us again this year, students who have graduated from both our program and the high school and moved on to college or actual IT jobs, et cetera, to always attempt to raise the bar on what we're presenting in the class around this year artificial intelligence, around hands-on coding of devices, including Raspberry Pi, and helping the students just be ready to step into the technology world, whether it's a job or at the university level.
Right. IT is such a broad subject now. It kind of like when I was growing up, I don't even think they used that word. I think they just call it computers, We had to write everything on paper. I don't think they do that anymore. But it just kind of like, and initially was like, okay, we're just going to assemble a kit and build a computer. Now it's coding, it's programming, normally you don't even build computers really anymore, do you?
That's a great point. And talk about it being broad. One of the things we focus on in class is helping students leverage what they're best at. You do not have to be a complete nerd to be successful in our class. And in fact, with recent advancements, especially including artificial intelligence and data science in particular, the softer skill sets around understanding requirements, understanding how to work with people, understanding what makes people productive in their particular profession when it comes to use of technology. We're excited that we embrace every skill set you have, from the English major to the engineer.
So there's, you don't, like you say, you don't have to be a nerd to kind of like sign up. Now this, you have to apply for it. I mean, it's a free class, but it's limited to so many seats, right?
We take as many as we can, typically limited 25, 26 folks. We try to accommodate as many people as we possibly can. There's an application process that's really used to help us understand if you're ready to be successful in the class and what changes would we make to the curriculum to ensure ahead of time that a student can be successful. So I encourage kids to apply, students to apply. I've got the website with me if you want to hear that. But we're extending the application deadline to December 24th.
Okay.
But please apply. It's a fairly straightforward application.
Sure.
It's not a pass-fail. It's you submit an application, and we're going to figure out how we can fit you in.
To make sure that, because everyone kind of moves along at a different pace, don't they?
They do. And we try to make sure that for each, especially this year, for each class unit, sometimes if people hear we're going to look at artificial intelligence, that can be intimidating. But the idea is to take the mystery out of that.
Sure.
To make sure that wherever you are, even if it's the first time you've heard of this, you're going to be successful in the class and you're going to walk out of there being able to tell other people what it means. So we took on quantum computing last year.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes.
Just the name alone scares you, doesn't it?
We took on quantum computing, and I was so excited that at the end of the class year, we had, just for fun, sort of a Jeopardy type of game around the topics that we had taught. And they were all over the quantum questions. And these were not easy questions, but they were ready. I called it a party-level knowledge of quantum computing. So you can bring it up, like people do all the time, quantum computing at your Christmas party.
I was just going to think, bazinga. That's what
Yes.
First thing that popped in my head. So now you're a parent of one of these. Is your
Yes, my son is
Yeah,
involved.
your son
And
is involved.
Yes, my
Oh,
son is
it's true,
involved.
right.
And that is the beauty and the uniqueness of the club is to bring these complex ideas and introduce them to the youth in a manner that
Sure.
demystifies all
Right,
those
right.
complex
It can be
concepts.
intimidating.
Intimidating and yet presented in a manner that makes it not intimidating anymore.
Yeah.
And so they get to appreciate as they listen to the guest speakers, as they get to create their own raspberries, as they get to do field trips and
Sure.
visit data centers, practice on creating IT companies of their own.
Sure.
So it's been this introduction to all these opportunities that they wouldn't have had the chance to do elsewhere, and to do it in an environment that's very welcoming, that's very empowering, and introduces all these all the technology in a very simple way. In
Sure.
a simple way that a kid that didn't know anything about quantum ends up not only knowing about it, but
now-
wanting to know more
Right,
about it,
right. I
excited
think that-
about it, and
Yeah.
so it's been a wonderful experience.
That's the thing. It's the idea is to put that spark in there so they want to know more.
Yes,
And
indeed.
do it. And I didn't even know about that. Now I want to know more about
Yes.
it. Is your son? How many times has he been to the classes? First one, just once.
Yeah, last year was our
And then he's
first
gonna
year
come
there,
this
and
year?
he's attended all the classes.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he's
Have you been to
attending
any of the
again.
classes?
Yes, I've been
So
at
what do
all
you
the
think?
classes.
So what did you think
Yes,
of that? Did you
I
learn
think-
anything? Or
I
you
learned
just-
a lot. I think I learned
So you
more.
can fix my phone? I mean,
My son might be able to do that.
That was the joke when I was growing up. It was program your VCR. Now it's,
Yeah.
program my iPhone, see if I can, how come it doesn't work,
Well,
do
that's
it.
the nice thing. They got to practice. We got to observe more. The speakers, learn from the speakers and from what was presented. And so he
Great.
is going to join back and work with all the other students.
Yeah.
So it also created that camaraderie between
That's good.
them
They
and
need that. Yeah.
collegiality.
Good
and
friendships are bonded. You bond with
Absolutely.
people when you go through that. I
Friendship
remember.
and creativity too.
Right.
They like just working on that the company that they were, the mock company that they
Right.
were created a lot of that collaboration, which I
Sure.
think is a good thing for them to take in life and
Yeah.
know how to work with everybody on entrepreneurial projects.
One of the things that there is another story which I'll link to that I put up the other day, but it was interesting that you have this internship that you offer as well, because and people have actually got jobs right into IT from from coming out of your class.
Yes, a number of area companies and a couple of companies that have opportunities to work remotely provided specific positions for students to apply for as interns. And there's been a lot of success there, especially with local firms. There's nothing like hands-on,
Right.
real experience. Even as simple as learning how to go to work, how to show up, how to put in an 8-hour day. These are not things that come naturally.
No.
It might sound simple,
Yeah.
but it's not. Tracking your time, getting your paycheck, understanding your benefits, all of those
Right.
things each of us must learn sooner or later, and the intern jobs are a great opportunity
Yeah.
to do that in a safe space.
Yeah, that's great. So anything great coming up that you got planned that's like over the top for 2025?
That depends on our students. This year, we hope to give them even more ability to control how the class goes. We're defining the topics, but we think that they're going to have the ability to collaborate even more than they have in the past. Things that they'll be able to write essays about if they go into creative writing as a major, things that they'll be able to use as a reference if they go into a technical major. We'll cover the gamut.
More than a club, then, isn't it? It's really more than a club.
It is more than a club.
Yeah.
It is, I feel like this is youth formation
Yeah.
and bringing all the youth of Warren County together to empower them,
Yeah.
to build that confidence, to build those leadership skills.
Yeah, it's important.
And and that was one of the things that really motivated me to join
Right.
the leadership team.
Right. So now
and
your son
volunteer.
he went to all the classes. He was excited. And
He was very excited.
may I ask, how old is he?
He is 16.
So I said, well, if you can get a 16-year-old excited about something.
That's saying something. And
Yes.
we're so excited that some parents have emerged as leaders in the group. Thank you so much for everything you did
pleasure.
for us last year. Hosanna stepped up at a very challenging time when we were working on the mock IT company
Right.
to ensure that every student got the attention they needed. So that's terrific, and I look forward to collaborating this year.
Well, I always tell you this, making these companies, and you see a lot of, a lot of times the people look at a job, they think it's just the do. That is, you can, there's a lot of that. That's the easy part. It's all the other things that's involved in running a company and what are you doing? They just think about, I'm just going to put this together and program. Okay, what are you going to program? What are you going to do with it? How are you going to sell it? How are you going to make any money, right?
Right.
It's a lot of steps
It is
involved.
the softer skill set
The
that
soft skill.
enables the engineer.
Yeah. I remember you talked about everyone in IT has a different place. My son started off in what do you call it? Back then it was phone support. How to get your modem on AOL to work. Can you imagine? You're dealing with people that know nothing about anything, and he was always just calm and could be and never bothered. And he worked that for a year or two for Microsoft and doing how to get the work for AOL. Then he went over to Microsoft. Now he's a remote engineer. He never goes to the office. He just works all hours of the day and night and weekends and fixes stuff remotely. And he's got every Microsoft thing you can do. But he started college, started working. I don't need that, and I'll go over here and take. So it's like a trade school type job, really. It's.
It is the modern trade school.
I think so.
It's very technical and exciting. But you talk about a call center. The most important thing a call center does is it bridges the gap between somebody's problem and the solution.
Right.
Nothing else matters at that point
Right.
except helping that person be able to use the technology.
And that's IT.
That's a wonderful job, and that's IT.
That's it. Well, it sounds like I wish I'd have taken this class.
Well, you could come.
Yeah, come
come and
visit us,
listen in.
definitely. Come
What
sit
do they
in
call
and
that when you?
be inspired.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
can audit.
Audit. That's
Yeah,
it.
there
You can
you go.
tell I'm getting old. My brain is fried here. But I think that's because I had my cell phone next to my ear too much. That's
All of us.
all of it. All of us do that. What's Melissa and Hosanna? I think I really appreciate you coming in, sharing this information. We're going to put some information below here in the story where you can go to the website
Yes.
and tell us the name. I think it's like somethingit.org or
TII hyphen, I'm going to make sure, VA for Virginia,
Right.
.org.
Yeah.
All lowercase letters. And you will find the link there, TII hyphen VA.org.
I went on there the other
be
day,
sure
and
to
it's really
register.
not a complicated application. I mean, it's really simple. Fill it out. Don't be intimidated
Right.
by technology. They just want to know a little bit about you and see where you're going to fit in and get it in early because, if you're number 30, you might not make it.
You might not make it, and gives us a chance to look what you've put on your application
Sure.
to see how we can best accommodate your interest and needs.
Yeah, that's good.
And if you are intimidated, still apply, and we
Sure.
will be sure to conquer your fears.
Yeah, you can kind of tell sometimes
So-
just reading the applications. Some are very, type. Another one's got 2 words. So
Yes, but yet it all works.
it all works.
When the students get together, they all blend into the same level.
Yeah. They all talk that common language.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
the pleasure
you.
was ours. Yeah.